Alright, how are you guys doing today? It's Tuesday, December 7th, 2021, recording my first review in my brand new place. I want to thank you for joining me here tonight for another metallic episode of Music of Destruction. Bringing you guys the very best in metal related content right here on YouTube, on the only metal channel you need. If you missed anything in the past month, click the eye in the upper right corner of the screen, get caught up on all my latest videos. It has been a month. I was busy packing, getting ready to move, finding a place to live and all that stuff. It's a very big job to fucking move, especially when you've got all the stuff that I do. I have 11 years worth of stuff since I left my last place, but nonetheless I am back, so expect awesome content coming. If you'd like me to review anything, make suggestions in the comments section. Slam, deathcore, metalcore, and modern tech death do not apply. I hate those fucking genres. If you enjoy them, that's totally fine. Remember to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. This is one of the hardest working metal channels on the platform. I want to welcome you guys to Album Review Tuesdays here on the channel tonight. We're going deep beneath the earth into the United States, South Carolina, to be exact, for a look at a long-awaited follow-up album to their 2015 album, What Should Not Be Unearthed, which to me is a pretty good album, but definitely not as good as Annihilation of the Wicked. That's right, folks, I'm finally getting to this one with Nile, Vile Nilotic Rites. Now, this one was released in 2019 on Nuclear Blast Records. Now, if you don't know who Nile are, you can check out my review of Annihilation of the Wicked in the album reviews playlist to get a full background on the band. So the lineup on this album is as follows. We have Karl doing vocals, guitars, keyboards, lyrics, and songwriting. George Kollias, absolute god on the drums, of course, percussion and songwriting. Then we have Parris doing bass, vocals, and songwriting. Brian Kingsland, guitars, vocals, and songwriting as well. Alright, so let's get into the review, shall we? So the album opens up with Long Shadows of Dread, and it immediately explodes into the brutality and technical prowess and power that Nile has become very famous for early on. Now, the drum work, bass, and vocals and guitar riffs on this track are stellar, and I have to say that the way things start off here on this album, to me, make it easily comparable to Annihilation of the Wicked. This is classic Nile, ladies and gentlemen. As many of us have wanted this brutal and powerful complexity and return to form, and we definitely get it here. The atmosphere is dark, occult, and definitely has that ithiophalic death metal uniqueness fully intact here, and makes this one of the best openers in a very long time. Powerful, brutal, technical, and very convicted. This is an amazing opening track. Next up, we have the Oxford Handbook of Savage Genocidal Warfare. Quite a lengthy song title. This is an absolute neck-breaking, skull-bashing insanity right off the bat. Inhuman drum work makes its mark here by George Kollias that makes it so sonically intense you'd swear you were being blasted out of a fucking cannon into a brick wall and smashed to bits. The guitar work is atmospheric, intense, and sonically chaotic. That's all wrapped up beneath the dual vocals of Karl and Brad and Brian, I guess, triple vocals here. Makes the evil and darkness of Nile's music even more unique and impressive. And the emotion and power on this track is extreme. The instrumentation, to me, defies all human reasoning faculties, as does the vocal work as well. And this is a very powerful and aggressive track with some slower sections that really emphasize the atmosphere, and then it once again just erupts like a volcano with breakneck speed and aggression. This is another sick fucking track. Next up, we have the title track with Vile Nilotic Rites, and it opens up with a bit of a slower, mid-tempo paced death metal affair with some incredible double bass work and powerful guitars, and of course vocal work from all three vocalists as well. And this is kind of a shift in the flow of the album a bit, but it really reminds me of bands like Marduk when they change gears, and how effective and powerful Marduk's slower tracks are. Now, the atmosphere on this one is powerful and dark, but it also explodes with blasting insanity, of course, because it is, after all, Nile, and this isn't going to be death metal for everyone, because Nile isn't afraid of experimentation and creating atmospheric epic masterpieces that strafe away from typical brutal death metal fare. Nile is one of those bands that succeeds on every idea with excellence and brilliance, and of course, this song is no exception. This is another amazing title track. Now, next up, we have Seven Horns of War, and here we get some epic battlefield atmospheric orchestra building before it annihilates you with its insane brutality once again. that's got some amazing growling, screamed vocals that set the precedent for this unfolding brutal massacre against all mankind. This is full-on chaos with technical brilliance that doesn't overstay its welcome or sound contrived like so many bands who have ripped off Nile in this day and age, and yes, there are plenty of them. Archspire, fucking fags. Visions of apocalyptic nuclear warfare goes off in my head as this track rips me apart, and I'm sure it will do the same to you as well. This is an absolute, brutal, unparalleled masterpiece of incredible work, and you should love this fucking album if you truly love Nile. Alright, so let's listen to 7 Horns of War here on Music of Destruction. Enjoy. And we're back, and yeah, this is another absolute banger. And there's an awesome midsection to this one with some more chanting and orchestrated ambience with warlike drumming and horns that really set the tone and make this a very unique experience. Very awesome stuff here. And they don't cater to anyone. Nile does whatever the fuck they want, and they write from the heart and soul, and this is a great track. Next, we have That Which Is Forbidden, and we get some eerie high-pitched notes before it breaks into its slow atmospheric start with some great slow tom and snare work that has a very atmospheric soaring guitar lead that makes this track one of Nile's most unique on the album. And this is a natural evolution for Nile, and I mean, they've always had their more experimental, unique side to their own take on brutal death metal, and that aspect is certainly appreciated by people like myself, and hopefully more people will share in this stance, but I'm sure people are going to have their own opinions, of course, and that's fine. But to me, this is another amazing, powerful, atmospheric, brutal masterpiece of soaring guitar work, brutal drum work, with powerfully and emotional, convicted vocals with intense conviction, and Nile's always had that integrity, guys, like, always. Certainly hasn't changed on this album. Another great track. Next up, we have Snake Pit Mating Frenzy, and here we get absolute classic Nile brutality that's very reminiscent of Annihilation of the Wicked. This is insane. I mean, because when you listen to George Kollias' brutal drum work on this album, it's fucking amazing. One of the best drummers on the planet, and his skill fully on display here. It's literally inhuman how fast this guy can play. His fills are ridiculously fast and technical and tight, as is, of course, the guitar and bass and vocals on this track that are just seething with venom and aggression. And the lead guitar work here is incredible as well. easily one of the heaviest songs of all fucking time, and Nile are not backing down just because they've aged. I mean, Karl Sanders is 56, and look at how fucking brutal he still is. Amazing stuff, and I just think this band's going to continue to get better as time goes on. Incredible song. Next up, of course, we have Revel in Their Suffering, and here's another absolute masterpiece of atmospheric terror and sheer fucking brutality, like the mouth of hell has opened and swallowed all who fucking oppose. This is the sound of the inevitable demise of humanity by dark forces beyond our comprehension, and I'm not talking about Satan. I'm talking about ancient Sumerian gods who are pissed off and angry. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the sound of suffering and pain, all encompassed in a beautifully crafted path of destruction and chaos, as illustrated by the guitar work, bass, and drums, and of course the vocals, which soar with brilliance and emotional power and dark chaos. And the range of all three vocalists here is incredible, and my god, does this album ever fucking rule. Another great song. Next up is Thus Saith the Parasites of the Mind, which is a short instrumental track with some awesome ambience and percussive work, as well as some incredible vocals by many different people. If you look at the lineup and guest session musicians, it's very long. Short but powerful track. Next up, we have Where is the Wrathful Sky? And if raining hellfire and destruction from the sky above had a fucking soundtrack, well, this would be it for sure. This is on another level when it comes to brutal death metal and music in general. As we see Nile continue to push boundaries and escape the conventional norms and trappings of brutal death metal and add their own unique take on the genre, the way they can mix so many musical flavors into one epic, powerful, pissed off, brutal album is absolutely incredible. It's masterfully done, and this fucking track is awesome. And I love the experimentation and willingness to do what they wanted regardless of anyone's sensibilities or opinions. This is my favorite track on the album, by the way. Great stuff. Next up, we have the 8-minute epic, The Imperishable Stars Are Sickened. And here we get another amazing track of brutality, and the atmosphere here just screams with brilliance and intensity beyond measure. The power and the songwriting on this is some of the best 2019 had to offer, other than Possessed Revelations of Oblivion, which is one of my favorite albums of 2019 as well. But this one is on par with Possessed Revelations of Oblivion. By the way, if you haven't heard that one, that's another great fucking album as well. I mean, it doesn't happen very often when a band like this comes along that can offer a mesmerizing, atmospheric, brutal death metal experience, but Nile certainly excel in this. I mean, how can you expect anything but the best when you're talking about Nile, and they're one of the most elite in brutal death metal. Of course, and their uniqueness and vision for death metal remains one of the most challenging and brilliant visions any death metal band could have or has had. This is brutality beyond measure, as I said, but in all the right ways, and it's powerful and emotionally complex and convicted, and its use of ambience adds so much depth to the record overall that no band on the planet can touch. Another great track. Closing out this masterpiece is We Are Cursed, and this is another 7-minute atmospheric, brutal death metal masterpiece, and I don't really know if Nile could get any better, honestly. I mean, yeah, I did rank Annihilation of the Wicked as my #1 Nile album, but this one is basically tied with it because this record is something else entirely, and so is this track. I mean, holy shit, did Nile ever blow me away with this record, and I'm sure many Nile fans are going to appreciate this return to form and would agree with me that this is easily their best since Annihilation of the Wicked, because it's their most unique album as well, in my opinion. And it's as brutal as Annihilation of the Wicked, easily for myself. Fast, aggressive, sonically intense, emotional, and atmospheric to the point of conveying everything they were talking about in the lyricism, and it's brilliantly written and executed. The final verdict for Nile's Vile Nilotic Rites is getting a 10 out of 10. Hail Nile, this is legendary, and any Nile fan should own this fucking album. Alright, so there you have it. Another album review in the books here on Music of Destruction. If you're new, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. teespring.com/store/Music of Destruction. Make sure you check out all my merch there. Bonfire.com/store/Music of Destruction. More merch is coming. As I said, I was very busy with the move. Janelle, thank you very much for your help. We're going to be putting up some new stuff on Bonfire. Please support the channel that way. I am working on a new podcast for the seed on Patreon. If you want to help out, patreon.com/Music of Destruction. You got the history of the Alleged Legions Noir. I know I've been 2 months since I've done a podcast. But again, very, very busy. Colton James and myself have completed our first movie review of Alien from 1979, so make sure you head on over to Beyond the Big Screen Movie and Game Review and subscribe and check out that review. Also, we've done some game streams on there as well. Look forward to Aliens coming up from 1986. We're going to be getting that one out for Beyond the Big Screen very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching tonight. Have an awesome night. Like, comment, share this video. We'll see you for Album Ranking Wednesdays. Cheers. See you guys in the next video. Have a great night.